Yep. So first of all, thanks to AIOC for giving us a chance to talk on diagnostic endoscopy, and to our chief instructor, Dr. Rajiv Reddy, and all of my co-instructors in this course. So I'll be speaking on diagnostic endoscopy and how endoscopy can be a very valuable addendum in our armamentarium to diagnose and prognosticate some of the cases which we see in our clinics. Now I'll just show you a few examples. So these are some of the cases which you may see, where you see an eye with a failed graft, or an eye with dense membranes and corneal opacities, or eyes with keratoprosthesis. Not till now, what we had to kind of make a guess about the condition of the retina and the underlying status were conventional tools like ERGs or ultrasound B scans. And while they may give us a clue to the structural integrity of the retina, the functional outcomes can still be unpredictable in these cases, and we may not be able to determine what is actually happening to the retina. And endoscopy for the first time now allows us the opportunity to go inside the eye, transcend the problems which are created by a corneal or anterior segment opacification, and visualize the eyes in these cases. So let me just show you a few examples. So this was a patient who had a failed corneal graft, and whether we go ahead and do a repeat surgery or not would depend upon the underlying status of the retina also in this case. And when we went inside, this is what endoscopy reveals to us: a good attached retina with a healthy macula and a good optic disc. And this patient successfully underwent a repeat procedure with a good visual outcome. Compared to that, you have cases like this, where while the ultrasound shows an attached retina over here in the first picture over here, what you see is a pale disc with sclerosed vessels. And this is an eye which will not be amenable to a good functional outcome, even if you go ahead and do a very good anterior segment surgery, put a keratoprosthesis or a graft in place, because you have underlying optic atrophy. Similarly, this was a case of keratoprosthesis, where though the B scan did show us a detached retina, when we went inside, we saw a totally necrotic retina over here. Again, the third case with a corneal keratograft and a B scan showed an RD, but when we went inside, you can see these extensive membranes and extensive PVR formation. So these are eyes which are not likely to benefit even in spite of a corneal intervention. So therefore, in these eyes, endoscopy allows us to visualize what is happening inside and can help us in prognosticating and also making a decision about which cases we are the ones where we can avoid doing a repeat surgery. So Dr. Vinod has already shown the setup of the machine, and what an endoscopy does is that this is how, when you do a surgery, normally what we have is a bird's eye view when we do a conventional vitrectomy. But when you do an endoscopy, you have got an end-on view, where you've got an endoscopy probe over here which focuses upon the opposite retina, and you visualize that part in your camera. So this is how the surgeon setup is. And while Vinod has already spoken on the machine, I'll not dwell upon that. But you are also supposed to know where to make your measurements from the center of the optical cylinder. So you can make a center, measure from the center and make a entry at somewhere around 6 millimeters from the center of a keratoprosthesis. Whereas if you've got an eye with a Boston keratoprosthesis or an eye with a graft, there is not much of a difficulty in making an entry. This is one of another patient of ours where we did an endoscopy. You can go inside the eye, visualize the retina as well as the disc status carefully and completely. Another patient where we could go inside and visualize the optic nerve and the status of the retina. So this is a slide which is courtesy one of my colleagues, Dr. Vivek Dave, who also does endoscopies extensively. And endoscopy can also help in visualizing the angle structures. In fact, he has shown how you can use an endoscopy to remove occult angle foreign bodies also. You can visualize ciliary bodies carefully and very easily with the help of an endoscope. So peripheral retinal evaluation, evaluation of the ciliary body, evaluation of extensive membranes in cases of uveitis where you have got a hypotony and you need to visualize the ciliary body, again can be achieved with the help of an endoscopic visualization. Again, this was one of our cases where you can see a peripheral retinal detachment with the break. So all the peripheral structures can be easily visualized with the help of an endoscope. So going ahead, we have devised a kind of an endoscopy form which can help in documenting what are the features which we usually document whenever we do a diagnostic endoscopy. So when it comes to anterior segment, we usually document the status of the angle, ciliary body, posterior surface of the iris, status of the lens, zonules, and the pars plicator. And for posterior segment findings, we usually do end up documenting what happened to the optic disc, macula, blood vessels, and the peripheral retina. So based on all of this, we also did a study where we tried to evaluate the effectiveness of endoscopy in posterior segment evaluation. And what we found was, I'll just come to this, that in eyes with attached retina as well as in detached retina, we documented what are the findings. And we saw that in eyes with an attached retina, we were able to see pale disc and sclerosed vessels in 9 cases, advanced glaucomatous cupping in 10 cases. Similarly, eyes which had a detached retina on an ultrasound B scan, endoscopy helped us in realizing that 11 eyes had extensive PVR changes and would not have been probably amenable to more surgical interventions. Similarly, 2 eyes with RD had a pale disc and sclerosed vessels, and RD with retinal scarring and glaucomatous cupping were also documented and seen. So when we did a B scan, we found that there were 23 eyes which had an RD on B ultrasound, and we could even locate that with the help of a B scan, but we did have 1 false positive. Similarly, we had 3 false negatives, which means that there were actually no RDs, whereas an ultrasound was showing those thick membranes over there. So based on the endoscopic visualization and documentation of findings, we were able to avoid a surgery in some of these cases. So while 24 eyes underwent an endoscopic vitreoretinal procedure, 6 eyes underwent keratoprosthesis, we realized that there are a lot of patients in whom we could avoid doing a repeat surgery, avoid doing a corneal reconstruction, because when you do that, you are basically subjecting your patient to lifelong risk of an allograft, immunosuppression, and all those further surgeries. So endoscopy, specifically diagnostic endoscopy, can be a very valuable tool in visualizing what is happening inside the eye and can help in prognosticating and making your decisions easy. And with that, I would like to conclude my presentation. Thank you so much. I'll stop my share.